These videos are brought to you by His Vessel Academy. Check us out at hisvesselacademy.com. Today we're going to talk about polynomial fractions, and a lot of times they look confusing, and they are if you leave them the way they are right now. And a lot of times I'll tell my students to actually draw a line right smack dab down each of these, so that way we can kind of separate them a little bit. And if you have the room, I would like to put them in some sort of a grid. This way they're easier to see, they're less confusing, and I can deal with them one at a time. Just like in anything in math, I like to do steps, and I like to do it one at a time so I'm not getting myself confused. So hopefully you know that 48 divided by 12 is 4. If you don't, get a calculator for that. And on these cases, you can bring them up. So I'm always going to bring the smaller number up, and that's going to be minus 4. I'm going to bring these two are really great. I absolutely love when the exponents of the same variable are exactly the same, because they cancel each other out, because 2 minus 2 is 0. In this case, I would then subtract 2 on this one. So now you'll notice they all go to the numerator, so that really made my life a lot easier. And I have 4, and then I just do x to the 5 minus 4, which is 1. So I end up with this 4, I x, and my y's canceled out, and I end up with z squared. And I did put it in a little bit neater so you can kind of see it. And I'd like to do another one like that. So another words for one that may not necessarily be as pretty, not as hard as some of them you may face, but it's still going to be the same concepts. In this case, though, you will notice that I will have some denominators, because I do have an x squared over an x cubed. And I want to make sure you realize the first thing I want to do is, okay, I know 2 divided by 2 is 1. We're good there. But when I'm looking at exponents and I'm deciding am I putting in the numerator or denominator, I'm going to say which one of these exponents are bigger. Hopefully you know 3 is bigger than 2, right? So I want to actually do 3 minus 2. Okay, that goes away. And in this case, this is 3 and that's 1. I want to make sure I put 1s on them. Sometimes it helps to put a 1 there so I can see it. And I'm going to go negative minus 1. So there we go. And this one is smaller than the 2, so we're just going to do minus 1, and there we go. Now I can clearly see that I'm going to have a y in the numerator, and I'm going to have my x and my z in my denominator. This makes it so much easier for me to decide what my answer is going to be. So I just now have to go in here and say y, and then I can put my y in my numerator, and I'm going to go 3 minus 2. Or sorry, 3 minus 1, that's 2 by the way. It's giving the answer. One of those days. So then I go here and I know I am going to have an x and a z in my denominator. So 3 minus 2 is 1 and 2 minus 1 is 1, so I don't have to put an exponent there. Now if it had been 3 minus 1 like it was in the numerator for y, I would put a 2 there, but I don't have to. So my answer is going to be just this. And here you go. I'm going to write it a little neater so you can kind of see. Here I am subtracting them in each of them. Makes my life a little easier. And there's my final answer. So I'd like to see you try one. We're going to do one again together one more time. You're going to notice this is 21 over 7. So hopefully you got 3 out of that, and it's going to be in the numerator. So decide are they going in the numerator denominator. See if you're right. Okay? Well, let's see. This is a 1, this is a 2. 2 is bigger than 1, so I'm going to go minus 1. 4 and 2, 4 is bigger than 2. I'm going to go minus 2. I am going to cross them off as I go so I don't confuse them and keep them there. I don't want to do that. So this is 1, and so 3 is bigger, so I'm going to subtract 1 here, and I'm going to cross off the 1 in the bottom. Okay? This way I know, oh look, I have 3, I have a b in the top, or in the numerator, I have a c in the numerator, I have an a in the denominator. Got it? So here it is a little neater. I can kind of see I now have it. All I now have to do is add I just have to subtract the exponents, okay? So in this case, 4 minus 2, so I'm going to start with a 3 and just kind of write it like this. This is so much easier. I have a B, C, and an A. And now I go 4 minus 2, and that's 2. I go 3 minus 1, and that's 2. I go 2 minus 1, and that's just 1. And there's my answer. That's it. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Make sure you do slowly, step by step. Separate them if you don't have enough space for them. You can just kind of put a line through them so you can kind of see them with even your eyes. So as you get better and better at this, you may not have to put them in a grid form. You can easily just put lines down them so you can see them clearly. But even I, as a math person, still like to separate them and do one variable or one number at a time. Got it? Hopefully you like that and give me a thumbs up on that. At His Vessel Academy, we offer live interactive classes as well as some self-paced courses. Visit hisvesselacademy.com for more information and register today.